Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This article that I have here from Business Insider, I think comes to reinforce my assessment that the West tries to wash its hands of its loss in Ukraine against the Russians. I've seen this trend in the past maybe 2 weeks, when the Western weasels, politicians, military commanders, mass media, started making all kind of statements like somehow the Ukrainians were in charge, they didn't listen to us, to our advice, the military advice, therefore the counteroffensive is dead. Zaluzny might be a loser, because he didn't listen to us. Now we find out that the Ukrainians are using the weapons sent to them wrong. It's like you get a knife and you try to, shoot someone with a knife or something like that. I think they start distancing their loss, and they point to the Ukrainians. It was your war, and the guy who's guilty here, who was actually a loser, is Zaluzny. Now let me show you this little article, which is very interesting, because let me read the title for you, and then I'm going to make a point there. This article comes from Business Insider, right there. It is from today, December 5, 2023. This is what these guys are saying. Ukraine is using its advanced Leopard tanks like long-range artillery instead of penetrating battle vehicles, report says. Well, like in any scuffle or problems that happen somewhere, there are the insiders and there are the outsiders. We are the outsiders, as are the guys from the Business Insider. They call themselves insiders, but they're outsiders. Why? The insiders are the Ukrainian commanders, the Russian commanders, the American commanders, intelligence. Why? Because they have first-hand knowledge, involvement in it, like a family. From outside, we can see the family, about the neighbors, but then you find out, let's say, they divorce, and you say, what the hell happened? And then little by little, you find out what actually occurred in that family, because beforehand, you thought everything is nice. He was a nice guy. She was a nice gal. What happened? And you find out what happened over there. So the same here. When Business Insider says Ukraine is using its advanced Leopard tanks like long-range artillery instead of penetrating battle vehicles, maybe if you ask Zaluzny and Ukrainian commanders, you find out the reason why you do that. Because probably if you get them closer, from direct experience, they got blown up. By whom? By the Russians. So probably they cannot compete with the Russians' intelligence, capability, and therefore they say, you know what, we're not going to engage them. It's useless. And maybe the Leopard tanks are not as good, and the Ukrainians figured it out, and they're not going to say, your tanks suck, Germany. Maybe that's why they didn't engage the Abrams tanks yet, as we don't hear anything fantastic about that. Maybe they didn't prove what they say they will prove, like in many instances where some declare, oh, we have these fantastic weapons, and then there's nothing fantastic about it. They're good, but not fantastic. But that's what you do. You are engaging disinformation. That's what happens. So the enemy thinks that you're tougher than actually you are. You always do this. Sometimes you appear stronger than you are. Sometimes you want to appear weaker than you actually are. Why? So the other guy drops his guard, and then bang. All right, let's read this little article. Ukraine is using Leopard tanks more like long-range artillery than attack vehicles, Agence France Presse reported. The tanks are being used defensively to hold Ukraine's line rather than to punch through. Well, you don't just go with the tanks forward. You have to have cover for that. You have to have power, manpower. You have to have tanks. Anyway, I just read an article. The Russians destroyed in the counteroffensive about 1,000 some tanks, more than 1,000 tanks. I think tanks and vehicles. armored vehicles. In what? In the first day they destroyed a lot of them. First 3 days. That was an article I covered yesterday, I think. So the tanks are being used defensively to hold Ukraine's line. The change has taken place over the past few weeks, the report said. Why is that? Is because I suspect they cannot hold the line. I think that's what it is. But let's see, what else? So Ukraine is using the advanced Leopard tanks, they have to say advanced, in received from its Western allies defensively. That means maybe the situation on the front dictates that. Do you know that, Business Insider? The reports, because it's not only Business Insider, rather than on penetrative offensive weapons, the news agency Agence France Presse has reported. The change is reported to have taken place over the past few weeks when things went down, as Ukraine's long-awaited counteroffensive against Russia turned into a more defensive effort of trying to hold positions against escalating attacks. But a weasel way of using euphemistic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 words at least to say against Russian turned, or the counteroffensive against Russia failed. That's one word from here. Look how many they use right here. Not all that. One word could have been switched over there, but no, they get in this one because they don't want to say, be too clear about it. Agence France Presse reported that the tanks positioned along the front lines were now being used more like long-range artillery than attack vehicles that would lead efforts to punch through into Russia-held areas. So now we have one soldier said that. He said that Swedish variant of the Leopard 2A5 was now being used to target infantry groups or ammunition depots. Now this is one soldier from the 21st Brigade, Mechanized Brigade, told Agence France Presse that his brigade's tanks were not being used in the same way as during the counteroffensive. But tanks have nothing close to the range of standard artillery. A Leopard tank's 120mm cannon has an effective range of about 2.4 miles. That's garbage. While the M777 howitzer has a 13-mile range, more than 5 times as far. But 2 miles, you're still close. So they mentioned one soldier. That's what their evidence is. Says nothing else. It says analysts previously told Business Insider that Western delays in giving Ukraine weapons probably hindered its counteroffensive efforts by giving Russia more time to prepare its defenses. What about the other guys? They prepared their offensive. It's the same thing as Adolf and Joseph, Hitler and Stalin. Hitler started the war Barbarossa operation against the Soviet Union because he said they were arming. He said, if we're going to work on arming an offensive operation, these guys got the wind of, they were getting ready, the Soviets, they knew the Germans want to destroy the communists. That was their goal, besides other, but that was the main goal. These guys are parroting you something else. But if you look at the speeches, if you read what they said, they had a problem with communists firsthand. And in Soviet Union, some people were very much communist. So make a connection. You're not supposed to make the connection, but then you connect the dots. So nevertheless, he said, I have to do it because Adolf said, I have to do it now because those guys are going to get prepared more than we can attack them. Anyway, there was some information that Hitler got wrong when they got over there and they realized how many divisions those guys have, and they were coming and coming and coming. It was a bad assessment. Everything was bad over there. But if you want to fight the communists, I guess. So anyway, these guys, I think they have to do that because they're pressured into doing that. Now that soldier, it is. I personally saw this in certain circumstances in my job and my work and usually you have the infantrymen in an organization, the people at the bottom who are just basically tools. Just follow orders. They push some buttons, and that is their job. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but it's a job. You're just doing what you're told. And then Agence France-Presse goes and asks this guy about the whole thing. They switch tactics. So that soldier, who's just probably a tank operator, don't even know who he is. He's not a commander who sees things and hears orders. He's just, and is involved in tactical maneuvering and so on. No. He's a soldier. Now, like people say, well, I know somebody at FBI or CIA. Wait, where exactly? Is he a janitor? Is he a bookkeeper? Is he an agent? Is he this? What is he? An analyst? What the hell he is? Is in charge of this? What is he? It matters very much, because obviously a janitor can tell you something about FBI, a bookkeeper something else, a secretary something else, an agent something else. The same here. Who is that soldier? And he generalizes. We change this, and they make the statement as a general information. Right here, Ukraine, the entire Ukraine, is using its advanced tanks like long-range artillery. It's a statement, a general statement. And it's a present tense continuous, so that happened as we talk right now, in general, not, instead of penetrating battle, report. It's one report. I'm sorry, I thought it was reports. Report. And then the star witness was one soldier, right here. Now I said Agence France-Presse reported, and this is based on this guy. I mean, to be honest, who is your source? How much access the source has to understand the front line? He's a guy with a tank. If he's a guy with a tank, do you think he knows what happens there, all along the entire line with all the Leopard tanks? Because they generalized. So maybe it's possible. Maybe they're just getting us ready for a collapse of the NATO forces in Ukraine. Yeah, I know exactly what I said. So we'll see. And maybe they don't want to get engaged because they suck. And they being the Leopard 2. As I said many times before, they say, the Abrams are going to get in. You smell them, you see them, you touch them, you hear them, you will destroy them. Some are a little bit harder than others, but eventually they will get away to destroy them easily. Like everything. Like in a fight. You have a technique that's your favorite technique. Probably everybody knows it. But let's say they don't know it. You don't do it over and over. You do it one time. Let's say you have 3 minutes in a fight. You think, I'm going to use it one time. And that's not the first one I'm doing. It's not the first, your favorite technique. You don't do it the first as let's go in. Boom, I'm doing it. No, you do ba beep beep boo, and then you do it one time. And if it didn't work out, the next time if you try it, is going to have less success. And the third time probably going to be knocked out if you do it, and the adversary is good because he already understood it. So the same thing when you do it again is going to be more prepared to counter. And the third one probably already is going to knock you out as you come in. So with time, these guys adapt. And you can't adapt anything more on the Leopard. It's a piece of mechanical machine, how you want to call it. You can't add on it while on the territory. So once they figure out what you have, that's it. Beyond that, you're not better than that. That's it. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.